stood by the kitchen window, watching the rain smear the world into a blurred painting. She clutched her mug of tea, its heat warming her palms, but doing little for the cold, empty space inside her. Across the room, David, her husband of 8 years, sat at the dining table, his shoulders hunched over his laptop. The tap of his fingers on the keyboard was steady, rhythmic, and unbearably distant. She used to love that sound. Once it had represented security and dedication, a reminder of how tirelessly he worked to provide for them. Now it felt like a metronome counting the seconds of her discontent. Sophia closed her eyes, trying to summon the warmth she used to feel when she looked at him. David wasn't a bad man. In fact, he was everything she thought she'd wanted. Kind, steady, dependable. He remembered anniversaries, brought her flowers on random days, and always asked about her day. But the spark that had once burned brightly between them had long since faded, leaving behind only a dull ache of indifference. "Hey, Soph?" David's voice broke through her thoughts. She turned to find him watching her, his dark eyes full of gentle concern. "You okay? You've been quiet lately." She forced a smile, the kind that felt like wearing a mask. "I'm fine. Just tired, I guess." David nodded, accepting her answer without question, and turned back to his work. Sophia felt a pang of guilt twist in her chest. He deserved more than this half-hearted version of herself, but she didn't know how to give it to him. Later that evening, they sat across from each other at the dinner table. The silence between them was thick and heavy, broken only by the clink of cutlery against porcelain. Sophia tried to muster up conversation, but the words felt meaningless before they even left her lips. "Work was busy today," David said, his tone light but probing. He was trying, as he always did. "That's good," Sophia replied, her voice barely above a whisper. He set his fork down, leaning forward slightly. "Sophia, talk to me. What's going on? You've been distant for weeks now." Her chest tightened. The weight of the truth she carried was suffocating, but she couldn't bring herself to say it aloud. Instead, she shook her head. "I don't know what you mean. I'm fine." David's face fell, and for a moment, she thought he might push further. But he didn't. He simply nodded, his expression resigned, and returned to his meal. That night, as they lay in bed, Sophia stared at the ceiling, listening to David's steady breathing beside her. She thought about the early days of their marriage, when they couldn't keep their hands off each other, when laughter filled every corner of their home. She thought about the love she'd felt for him then, so strong it had seemed unbreakable. And yet, here they were, strangers sharing a bed. Sophia didn't know when it had started, this slow unraveling of their bond. Maybe it was when the demands of work and life began to overshadow their time together. Or maybe it was the subtle realization that love alone wasn't enough to sustain a marriage. Whatever the reason, the result was the same. An empty chasm that neither of them seemed able to cross. One afternoon, while David was at work, Sophia found herself wandering through the park. The crisp autumn air bit at her cheeks, and the vibrant hues of red and gold leaves felt almost mocking in their beauty. She sat on a bench, staring at the children playing in the distance, their laughter ringing out like a melody she couldn't join. A memory surfaced unbidden: David's proposal. It had been at this very park, beneath the sprawling oak tree that now stood bare. He'd been so nervous, his hands trembling as he held out the ring. She had said yes without hesitation, tears streaming down her face as she thought about the life they would build together. Where had that life gone? Sophia didn't realize she was crying until a soft voice startled her. "Are you all right?" She turned to find an older woman sitting beside her, concern etched into her weathered features. "I'm fine," Sophia said automatically, brushing at her cheeks. The woman didn't look convinced, but she didn't press. Instead, she simply said, "Sometimes, fine is the hardest lie to tell." Sophia looked away, her throat tight. That night, as she stood at the sink washing dishes, David came up behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist. She stiffened at his touch, and he immediately pulled back, hurt flashing across his face. "I'm sorry," she whispered, not even sure what she was apologizing for. David sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Sophia, I don't know what's happening between us, but I can't fix it if you won't talk to me." Tears welled in her eyes, but she turned away, unable to meet his gaze. "I don't know how to explain it." "Try," he pleaded, his voice breaking. I don't love you anymore." she finally admitted, the words falling from her lips like a lead weight. The silence that followed was deafening. David stared at her, his face pale and stricken. "You don't mean that," he said, his voice trembling. "I don't know," she said, her own voice cracking. "Maybe I do? I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know how to be the wife you deserve." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then David nodded, his jaw tight. "If that's how you feel, then I won't force you to stay. But Sophia, I still love you, even now." His words broke something inside her, and she sobbed, her tears falling into the soapy water. David didn't try to comfort her. Instead, he quietly walked away, leaving her alone with her guilt and sorrow. In the weeks that followed, Sophia moved out of their shared home, taking only what she needed. David didn't fight her decision, though the pain in his eyes every time they spoke was almost unbearable. As she sat in her small apartment one evening, surrounded by silence, Sophia realized that leaving hadn't brought her the peace she'd hoped for. The emptiness remained, a constant reminder of what she'd lost and what she'd chosen to let go. David, she knew, would move on eventually. He deserved happiness, even if it couldn't be with her. But as for Sophia, she wasn't sure she'd ever find it again. And that, she thought, was her greatest regret of all.